still 2 Winstrates left to fight. That's right, this little girl here is the 3rd one, and Vivi? Her name is Vivi? Are you for real, game? Really? Well then, there's only one thing left to do now. And here goes my Kirlia. It's gonna evolve into Gardevoir into a minute, and thank you, Vivi, I love you! So, yeah, now Kirlia's stat total is going to skyrocket while evolving. It's going to be, I think it's 525, I don't remember for sure off the top of my head, but I think that's about it. So now what I'm gonna do, once the Winstrates are done, I'm gonna put Combuskin back in the lead because it has gone from being far, far ahead in terms of power to being far, far behind in about 15 seconds. So for now, I just have to take care of the last Winstrate. And in the meantime, remember what I said a few videos ago about people complaining too much for nothing about our medal count at the Olympics? Well, we got our best medal tally in the history of the Olympic Games with a whopping 26. We didn't get the 35 that were promised, but that's mostly because those promises came from pen pushers who don't ski or skate or ride skeletons or whatever. So anyway, though, this is definitely a most satisfying turn of events, especially when you consider that we got 14 gold medals during those Olympics, which is an absolute record. No country has ever had 14 gold medals during the same Winter Olympics. So at least it's a nice consolation prize, even if the Americans won the game. So yeah, people were really complaining for nothing, and ideally this would segue right into my next topic, but for now I'm going to talk to those Winstrates here while switching my lead, and now they're all talking about yeah, her grandson, his son, and the mother's son, and the sister's brother, and whatever. And anyway, as I said, this is a cool trainer in Victory Road. How do I know? Because all the Winstrates, in case you haven't noticed, all their first names begin with VI. Now, I don't know if it's supposed to mean something, like, you know, what I said about the Winstrate name in the last video, so VI, I don't really know where it could come from, but yeah, there's a cool trainer in Victory Road whose name begins with VI, and I believe he mentions his family at one point. So yeah, this is the guy who is actually the 5th member of the family. So with that being done, it's time to head to the last place where we can go for now, and that is the Mobile Gym. Now, the leader is named Wattson, and he's an electric gym leader, and this electric gym leader doesn't have a badge vending machine, so we're gonna have to beat him up with good old-fashioned elbow grease. And in this gym, there are a lot of opportunities for double battles, and we're going to pass up on every last one of them, of course. And the puzzle for this gym is rather easy. You saw those electric barriers in the gym, which really, really mean that this gym has to have a fairly high electricity bill. So anyway, there are those barriers, and when you press on various switches on the floor, the barriers change places, and it's not as much a puzzle as it is a minor inconvenience that forces you to battle some trainers, but since I intended to fight all of them to begin with, it doesn't do jack shit. So anyway, what I was talking about complaining for nothing, well, we got the finest example of such a thing happening in the last few weeks. Oh, boycott! Well, I'm going to draw Peck for it because, come on, it's Peck. Boycott just has to be better. It's not such a good move, but it's not half bad either. So ditching Peck really isn't a huge loss. It might even come in handy at some point. So yeah, that example of complaining for nothing has nothing to do with the Olympics for once. And it's about, well, you've probably heard of that stupid Sonic 4 boycott because, well, they changed some details like Sonic's eye color, for example. So, yeah, we already knew that the Sonic fan base was probably the stupidest one on the internet. And I'm not saying all Sonic fans are stupid, just that the most blatant examples of fanboyistic stupidity, trying to make up a word here, they often come from the Sonic fan base. So yeah, their brilliant plan, I might add, is that they want to boycott Sonic 4, and on the day Sonic 4 comes out, they would buy Sonic 1 instead. So, let me get this straight. They're planning on boycotting a Sega game in favor of another Sega game? Sega gets your money anyway, you stupid idiots, so what's the point? I could have sort of understood it if they decided to buy like something like Mega Man 10 instead, since the comparison holds fairly well. We're talking about a brand new game on a very old series that goes back to the ways of old, so that's why I'm using Mega Man 10 as an example. But Sonic 1? Excuse me? Well, it's not like organized boycotts of video games are ever a good idea anyway. I think we all remember one of the leaders of the Left 4 Dead 2 boycott getting caught playing Left 4 Dead 2, and that one was freaking hilarious. But there was one comment that I saw about this stupid Sonic 4 boycott, and I'm gonna share it with you because it's absolutely friggin' hilarious. The guy basically said that it would be hilarious if, because of that boycott threat, that Sega would come out and say, you know, we've been under the impression that people were wanting a new Sonic game with the old style for the longest time, but it appears that we were wrong. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to cancel Sonic 4, and instead we're going to announce 3 brand new games. First, we're going to have an unnamed dating sim featuring Sonic and Elise. We're also going to have Sonic and the 7 Dwarfs. And third, Shadow the Hedgehog 2, Shadow vs. Werehog. Yeah. So for some reason, I am hoping against all hope that Sega sees that comment and does this as an April Fool's joke. It would be absolutely freaking priceless. Sonic and the 7 Dwarfs. Yeah. And keeping up with the theme of video games that don't have anything to do with Pokemon, I was watching Chugga Conroy's Wind Waker LP the other day, and I was wondering, you know that Earth Temple base room in Ganon's Tower? Well, am I the only one who uses the pots to hold the switches down instead of doing mad dashes all over the place to avoid getting to the stairs before the black shoes unpetrify? Yeah, because you can use the pots to hold down the switches. I've heard a lot of complaints about this room, almost as much as that barrel in Carnival Night Zone from Sonic 3, which I could easily figure out for some reason. But anyway, I'm getting the feeling some people listening to this are going to feel really stupid since they'd never realized that they could just use the pots to hold down the switches. But yeah, it's a lot easier that way. Though I did learn that the last phase of Puppet Ganon was weak to bait, because I didn't know that. It's not as hilarious as the final boss of Mega Man 3 being weak to the top spin, but it's pretty hilarious in its own right. So anyway, we're running out of time here, so in the next video we are going to be fighting Wattson. Be there!